there is a treatment. Okay, there's a treatment that we do from the clinic in Sweden because we specialize in all forms of arthritis, and we specialize in. Yes. Okay. You see, say it. So.
Pishtan, it's the Pishtan, flaxseed.
Yeah, Pishtan. So, if you, for example, came with asthma, if you came with high cholesterol and blood pressure problem, if you came with all forms of arthritis and gout, not only are we doing the life food program, but then we add into that for 3 weeks. We add flaxseed water 3 times a day. Usually I do it in between meals, but with this you don't need a breakfast, so this is breakfast too. 9, 11, 4 in between meals. We drink the flaxseed water, and then we get an apple. So we take an apple and 2 cloves of garlic, 2 pieces of garlic. We cut the garlic in slices and the apple in slices. We chew them together, but first you have to drink the flaxseed water so you don't burn. And you keep doing it, and each day you do more. So then you get up to 3 cloves 3 times a day the next day, and the next day 4 cloves. And if you need more apple, you eat more apple. But you only eat what you need to get the garlic down. So you eat apple and garlic, you chew it together. Fantastic. So many men and women have gone through this. For asthma, arthritis especially, you know, psoriasis, big time it works. We had a lady that came, she stayed 7 weeks. She was ridden with psoriasis. Her back was red and scratched. Her whole body was red. Her legs had a form of cancer that was open wounds. We did the garlic oil on her body every night. She had a nurse to assist her because she was in so much pain. It was awful. She had been through so much, a lot of medication. So she had a nurse to help her at the institute, and I taught her, you know, we put garlic oil all over the body, and then we put a big men pajamas on, flannel pajamas, cotton, and she would sleep in this. She'd take hot baths with sea salt. But we also add baking soda. How do you say? Sodium bicarbonate, baking soda. Baking soda is wonderful when you have skin itch and problems. When the kids are small and they get measles and mumps, chicken pox, then you put baking soda in the bath too.
How many glasses of the flaxseed water?
As much as you need. Usually at least a big glass before you eat the garlic. Now, if I have Crohn's and colitis, I don't drink the seeds, I only drink the water. But you can keep putting new water for 2-3 days.
But you can have the water no matter if you use the garlic, just the water?
Yeah. Oh,
it's
sure.
effective as well?
It's very effective, yeah. Yeah, so asthma, we had one lady recent, she came up to 42 cloves of garlic. Now she doesn't need her medication, no sprays, no nothing. She's on the elliptical machine, you know, and normally she would have to spray before she did exercise. Doesn't need it. Because garlic, when you get up to higher amounts, what it does, it is a super anti-inflammatory, and you cannot do it without the apples. You cannot eat that amount for that short time. It's only for 3 weeks. But when you do it, you kill the infection that asthma is, for example. Asthma is an allergy infection. So you kill the infection, and the next thing, which is so important, is that it dissolves the phlegm. Anybody who has asthma knows that you wish you could cough out all the mucus you have in your chest that is infection, really. It makes it happen, and you start coughing it up, and, you know, after a while you start breathing. You don't have this infection anymore.
So it's for asthma and also for
all forms of arthritis. arthritis and psoriasis and cardiovascular problems.
And how many a day? And you start with
Well, start with 2-3 times a day, and then you go up to 3 times a day, and sometimes your mouth burns so much you have to take a day off, and then you start off again.
But you eat some other things too.
Yeah, you eat normal. So you be a busy day. For 3 weeks you be busy. But it works. You know, we do it.
Is it before the meal, after?
I like, yeah. If you, let's say, at the Institute we eat at 12:30. So at 11 we do this. We do it 9, 11, we eat 5:30. So at 4 we do it. So an hour and a half before the meal. Of course, if you're eating a lot of garlic, that if you're up to 10 cloves, you're going to eat 2 apples for that most of the time. Then you're not going to be so hungry when dinner comes, but you're going to eat. But it's only 3 weeks.
So the maximum, how many?
Maximum, whatever you can, 40, 50. Some people only come up to 20, whatever you can. You know? Yeah. What did you do? What did you do? How long can you go on for? No, 3 weeks. I would do it 3 times a day, 3 weeks. You have to make the flaxseed water. You get good organic apples, and you can do it. Yeah. So it will definitely help. This is what I was talking. This will help if you have high cholesterol, and high blood pressure. It's fantastic. Aloe vera, of course. Adding this hot weather member of the cactus family to your health program offers a great variety of benefits. It's used worldwide to heal burns, cleanse the body, improve digestion and elimination, activate the immune system, and most importantly, strengthen the body in its war against disease. It's best and most effective when taken in its raw, fresh form, either internally or externally. We have a product that we use that's liquid, it's frozen, and you can make your own aloe vera juice, especially if our guests have Crohn's and colitis. By the way, Crohn's and colitis, inflammation of the colon that usually ends up in surgery, and eventually it takes so much of your colon you end up with a colostomy. All right? Now, they used to be 20-year-olds. Now it's moved down to 10-year-olds. Now, one after the other of children, 10-year-olds are coming to the Institute. Just before we left, we had a 10-year-old with Crohn's. It's amazing. This is a colon disease that, could turn to cancer. I mean, this is very, very serious. Yeah, so now, what causes this? Well, lifestyle definitely has a big part of it. Most kids today, first of all, it takes 3 generations to change system. And we have really screwed up the last 3 generations. Because if you go back before that, people were very strong. The genetic structure was incredibly strong. Yes, there's been a lot of wars, but there's been wars all along for thousands of years. What we really went off for is we started to eat processed foods so much more. If you go into a supermarket, the sterile world of a supermarket, it just hits you. The more you use things from the earth, and the more you sprout and eat living food, and you go into a supermarket and you realize there's nothing here. It's chemicals, processed foods. It's companies that works on your weaknesses. It gives you the sugar, salt, and fat. And so the kids, unfortunately now, through the generations that we indulged in that, they are paying for it. So their systems are so much weaker than even ours, because we have degenerated. So the age moved 10 years. The last 10 years, it moved 10 years. Never saw such a 10 years ago. Nobody was 10 then. They were all in their 20s or 30s, So the last 10 years really changed big time. And just to tell you about soda, and I see 1-year-olds, who are skipping Coca-Cola or of sodas. When you're drinking soda, first of all, it is loaded with sugar, or it's diet soda that has aspartames. That is the worst of all. That can give brain cancer. A lot of kids ends up with glioblastomas from this and other problems. But the main thing is, when they test your pH in your mouth after you drank a soda, like Coca-Cola or Pepsi, your pH that should be slightly acidic, like 6.9, 7, you know, your blood is 7.4. Well, it's like 2.3. So it's going to destroy your teeth, but it's going to go and destroy your colon. You know, so it's very important that our pH it's totally dependent on how we eat and drink. And most of these kids, when they come, the first thing we hear, yeah, you know, they're brought up on dairy products, they're brought up on gluten, the white flour, the white pasta, that's all they want, and they want sugar. So, you know, so actually when you're dealing with 10-year-olds, dealing with 20-year-olds, it'll be easier because, you know, they can kind of comprehend, okay, I'm going to eat different, obviously what I did didn't work, so I need to change. But you're dealing with a 10-year-old, it's like, why me? Why do I have to eat this strict? Why do I have to do this? And I just worked with the mother and daughter before we left, and she did so fantastic. She had 20 stools a day, diarrhea, blood all the time. And, you know, every day I saw the mother and daughter to make the system work and work with her, and we got it, you know, but it's different to work with a 10-year-old than a 20-year-old. It's like, you know, what if I don't do this? Or it's a different psychology to work with them. So I had to figure out, because sugar from fruit is not a good thing. Sugar, you know, makes more problem, because in any petri dish, if you put sugar, anything will grow. Any infection, anything. So aloe we use for them. They drink aloe. It doesn't taste so good. You can pour it into your green drink if you like. Mix it with flaxseed water, because we drink the flaxseed water. But you can make your own aloe juice. So if you have good aloe, which you have, just wash it and put it in the juicer and drink like 2 ounces a few times a day. It's fantastic. Is it 1 deciliter? You do the deciliter? I think it's 1 deciliter. Something like that. Yeah. Ingesting disaster. Chemical supplement. Man-made and man-manipulated vitamins, minerals, proteins, low-fat and low-carb creations, hormones, steroids, and drugs, medicinal and recreational, are harmful because they can cause permanent debility and even death. We have a book called Supplement Exposed. It's not here, but we can order it in the Institute. Anybody who's really interested in supplementation, how to use it, what to use, and why some of them are really, really bad for you. You know, supplements, if it's a chemical, yes, it will have a chemical reaction in your body that might even look good when you pay for it. So every supplement, if you put a supplement on the microscope like we do, when we get big batches of our supplement, we put them on the microscope and they're alive. They should be alive. You know, they should come from plants.